watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Good evening. A very big night for our Under the Lights coverage. We're across the area out of Midland Valley, Cross Creek, Swainsboro, plus Dan Booth standing by to break down tonight's biggest matchups.
And the unbearable heat out there forcing several schools across the two-state to push back kickoff times for their football games. That's the 4 games in Richmond County and the 5 scattered throughout South Carolina tonight. So, Riley, what can we expect as people get ready to head out the door?
Yeah, guys, no surprise that they did push those football games back because now we're in the record books today. 99 the high, and that does tie the record high temperature for today, and we're going to stay with in just about 10 minutes.
Right, thanks. While all of our local teams will be lining up against an opponent, they'll all be facing another one. We're talking about the heat tonight, with the heat index in the triple digits in almost all of our local counties.
In the last couple of hours, as we mentioned, Richmond County decided to push back all 4 of their games tonight to 8. At least 5 games in South Carolina also pushed back to 8 o'clock tonight to try to combat that heat. Today's heat is even worse than yesterday, where we saw several students hospitalized at a cross-country meet. This is video from that meet at Diamond Lakes Park, where the event had to be canceled early because of those high temperatures.
Nick Veland joining us now live outside Cross Creek School's new football field. And Nick, this is one of those games pushed back a little bit because of those temperatures. How are they handling the heat out there?
Yeah, Richard, well, the marching bands is about to get going and getting on the field. They're just in the shade, soaking up as much shade as they can before having to go out. They're actually about to cut a ribbon for their new turf field behind me. And Cross Creek is starting their season a week after many teams already had a game to be played, so they're starting a little bit behind schedule. Stretching. 1, 2, 3. Lifting. All while beating the heat, staying in the AC.
Trying to eat good meals when they're in school and when they go home, but just hydration. A lot of stretching, and still working out.
Practices have mainly been inside all week, restricted to 4 walls, but still looking to make the most of it.
In the gym, in helmets and shoulder pads, studding up so that the guys are still getting contact and trying to go harder while we're inside, trying to practice to get ready to play a game outside.
Preparing for their first game of the season, even though it's the second week for everyone else. Last week's game against Butler was canceled over safety concerns. Head coach Izzard Horn isn't letting this hold them back in the long haul.
So really, we've kept to our same game plan week by week. So yeah, we didn't play last week, but we knew we had a game the next week. So it was business as usual. Just like if a player goes down, it's next man up. We didn't play a game, okay, prepare for the next game.
He knows his team will be a threat, no matter the temp or if a game gets canceled.
Every time we step on the field, we're going to compete. We're not going to lay down. We're not going to back down. We're not going to yield to anybody. Right? If we want respect as a football program, we have to go and take it.
And kickoff is getting closer and closer. Now with the 8 o'clock kick, the team is still just, going through their warm-ups inside, getting prepared for this delayed start. And you can see the action on the field is, picking up as we get closer to game time. We'll have coverage from this game and more tonight at 11.
And we hope all that prep earlier helps them tonight in all that heat. Sports Director Dan Booth joining us now live in the studio. And Dan, we know Midland Valley in a similar situation because of this heat.
Richard and Laura, we also know that this heat is certainly playing a factor this week. And I was feeling it last night when I was in Barnwell for that game. And as you mentioned, tonight's game between Midland Valley and Strom Thurmond is one of the several matchups in South Carolina that decided to push their kickoff to 8 o'clock. News 12's Will Volk live from Midland Valley, where the heat is all over tonight's highly anticipated matchup between the Mustangs and the Rebels.
Hey, Dan, I can barely hear you right now. The PA announcer is here, and he is blaring music. But one thing I do want to tell you, the heat has been a story for both of these teams this week. Strom Thurmond actually had to delay a few practices because of it. At Midland Valley, they decided to practice before school at 6 a.m. a few days this week. The heat will be a story again tonight. So you want to know another story? It's the players on these teams. Both of these teams have guys that are capable of making big plays. For Midland Valley, Coach Earl Chapman says the run game is a big part of their offense. Senior running back Trayvon Dunbar is capable of putting up a lot of yards. Multiple Division I schools are recruiting him, but he's not committed yet. Tennessee commit Braylon Staley transferred to Strom Thurmond over the summer. His coach Andrew Webb says he's a special player, capable of scoring just about every time he gets the ball. Both coaches think it's going to be a good one tonight.
Midland Valley's a good football team. You know, they're good up front on defense. Secondary's tough. They run the ball exceptionally well, and they give you trouble on special teams.
I'm expecting a really good football game. There's two good football teams. Obviously, they have studs on both sides of the ball. I think we have really good players on both sides of the ball as well.
Now again, this start time has been pushed back 30 minutes to 8 o'clock. It doesn't look like there's a game starting anytime soon, but it sure does sound like it. We'll have highlights from this one tonight at 11.
No, thank you, Will. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I've had this matchup between the Mustangs and the Rebels circled on my schedule for months. Will, thank you. Stay cool out there. Now, like we said a few minutes ago, due to the heat, several schools in South Carolina have pushed back tonight's kickoff times to 8 o'clock. Some of those games include that Midland Valley Strom Thurmond game, Fox Creek and Lakewood, North Augusta at Dorman, South Aiken at Lexington, and Saluda's game against Rich Spring Minetta.
Some sad news to pass along from Columbia County Schools. In the last 15 minutes, they announced the passing of 8th grade teacher Barbara Petty. She taught at Riverside Middle School. When students return next week, counselors will be available for students and staff.
Also tonight, the story of a Burke County veterinarian touching hearts nationwide and even around the world. A dog attacked Dr. Emily Martin earlier this week while she was trying to sedate him at her clinic.
Tonight, we also have a great update on her recovery. Martin sent us these new pictures of her recovery and told us yesterday that for the next 6 weeks, she can only wiggle her fingers. Doctors say she cannot move her right arm below the elbow during this time. She plans to go back to work, though, next week, so I'd say that's dedication. Now, 2 of her patients are sharing their story about how much she means to them. Sydney Hood, live in the newsroom with the latest.
Well, all week we've seen comment after comment supporting Dr. Martin, and you all have shared stories about her, whether it's rescuing animals on the side of the road or saving another animal's life. If anyone misses Dr. Martin the most, it's her 4-legged patients.
These are Dr. Emily's patients. This is Annie, this is Fiona, and that's Tippy, and this is Dr. Emily's heart, Fabio. We had to deliver him C-section in the middle of the night.
Night and day, she's there.
We were talking on the phone, and Dr. Emily said, well, let me feed the kids and get me some coffee, and we'll be on our way, and that's what we did.
It's what she does best.
She has become more than a vet to not only us, but to so many other people.
To her furry patients,
she is a godsend to animals
and to their owners.
She's more than just a doctor.
She's the one everyone trusts.
As I held my baby, she put her to sleep, and she was there for me, you know, more than a normal vet probably would.
Now her 2- and 4-legged clients can't wait for her to return.
We want Dr. Emily to know, or Dr. Martin to know, that we have a lot of people praying for her.
We love you, Dr. Emily.
Fabio says he misses you.
Fabio loves you.
Dr. Martin says she's getting daily laser therapy to speed up the healing process. She also says the love she's received from the community motivates her to continue healing and get back to doing what she loves most, helping others and their pets.
And Sydney, her story certainly touching people a long way from here.
Yeah, Laura, her name is known as far as Australia. Zeus's Crusaders, as we told you earlier in the week, is helping to raise money for Dr. Martin, and they say the response is worldwide at this point.
Well, we certainly wish her a speedy recovery.
Very special vet. You can tell by listening to those patients.
This weekend, we are going to continue heat alerts. We got the chance for severe weather. The next week, we could be tracking a tropical storm heading our way. Lots to talk about in that forecast next.
And speaking of pets, one woman is looking for hers after it was taken during a carjacking. Stick around to find out how you can help.
Or check us out online at myroofsavers.com.
Save your roof, save your money.
Okay, we are up in the air. We have our eye in the sky tonight over the Midland Valley High School football field. This is our Sky 12 drone flying live there right now. The Mustangs facing the Strom Thurmond Rebels in less than 2 hours.
Their game, one of several across our area, pushed back because of this insane heat, Riley. It is a scorcher out there.
Absolutely, guys. A number of games impacted tonight. Today actually will go down as the hottest day so far for 2023 in Augusta. We did hit a high of 99 degrees, which ties the record high for this date. So intense heat, not only for football games, but we also have the Green Jackets in town tonight. First pitch is going to be at 7:05, and temperatures around that time frame should still be in the mid-90s. Once that sun goes down, we'll see our temperatures fall off into the 80s, but feel like temperatures will likely stay in the 90s at least around 10 o'clock later tonight. So it is going to be muggy even once that sun goes down. Heat alerts in effect this evening. We're going to keep those in play all the way through Sunday up to 8 p.m. So we are not going to see any relief from heat or humidity once we get into the weekend outlays. Tuesday all the way through next Friday.
Sounds good, Riley. Thank you.
You are staying updated on the forecast through this weekend because the tropics change very quickly. So this is definitely going to change over the next couple of days. Next week, though, pretty much guaranteed to see cooler highs in the 80s. Tuesday all the way through next Friday.
Sounds good, Riley. Thank you. Tonight, a woman is sharing her story of a carjacking that left her searching for her pet. She's been looking for her beloved bearded dragon named Lenny, and she's asking for your help.
And he is just the cutest little guy.
Smiling right here.
Smiling for the picture. And as Taylor Martin reports, she's offering a reward, but is losing hope on the search.
When Lauren Dozier got her pet bearded dragon Lenny 1 year ago, her entire world changed.
It was love at first sight. I literally have a tattoo of the lizard on my leg. Like, I'm obsessed with the guy. Like, my best friend.
But on the way to a kayaking trip just about a week ago, a quick stop for sunscreen at Dollar General on Washington Road turned into a carjacking.
I come out and I noticed somebody approaching me pretty quickly out of my side profile. So I picked up my pace.
According to the incident report, she tried to make it to her car, but when she got there, a man approached her with a gun, demanding money and insisting she get in.
I told him the best I could do would be get $300 from the ATM. He's like, all right, that's perfect. I'm desperate. Get in the car. Nah, I watch way too much true crime. I'm not getting in the car with you.
And when she hit the panic button on her phone, he took off with her car, which was found the next day with damage to the fender and driver's side window, but without her best friend, Lenny.
I didn't care about my car. You know, that can be replaced. My dragon can't. It's been really sad, really lonely.
Now she's offering $1,000 to whoever finds him and brings him home safely. Reporting in Augusta, Taylor Martin, on your side.
So Dozier says Lenny has orange spots on his chin and his back left leg.
And she's been very active on Facebook in her search. If you want to help, you can find her there. But hoping Lenny finds his way home is just the saddest thing.
We'd love to hear about a reunion here.
Yeah. Still ahead, we are on the road to Swainsboro, where the Tigers are looking to build on their success. That's next at Sports.
$28 a month, interest-free, in your choice of high-gloss finish. Now at Rooms to Go.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Having one successful season is a great accomplishment, but finding a way to sustain that success is easier said than done. News 12's Alyssa Lyons drove over to Swainsboro to catch up with the mighty Tigers, who have been doing everything they can to battle the elements all week long.
Here in Swainsboro, according to our first alert app, it's 94 degrees outside. It feels like 104, and yes, it's obviously hot outside. Imagine playing with 10 to 15 pounds of equipment on. That's what many of our athletes are dealing with tonight. Here at Tiger Field, they have a bit of an advantage. It comes in the form of grass. Turf can read up to 20 degrees hotter than regular grass. This week, Tigers coach's message during practice was hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. The heat is nothing new to Swainsboro football, but it doesn't stop them from practicing more ways to cool down.
Really stress that all week long, make sure they're eating correctly. And we'll have ice towels on the sideline. That's one of the things that our kids like a lot. It cools them off in a hurry. They've implemented this year to where, depending on what the wet bulb temperature is, that they'll take extended breaks and more often.
They are holding off on that wet bulb reading a little closer to game time. It's slated for 7:30 p.m. In Swainsboro, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
Thank you, Alyssa. Swainsboro is coming off an appearance in the Class 1A Division II state championship game last year. Tonight at 11, Alyssa will tell us why the Tigers still have what it takes to make another deep playoff run this year. Now, as we mentioned off the top, all Richmond County games are now kicking off at 8 o'clock. That includes Laney going head-to-head with Hepzibah. Tonight is the first time the Wildcats will get to show off their brand new turf field, and they're looking to get back in the win column after a tough loss to Strom-Thurmond in Week 1. North Augusta, they are the Yellow Jackets, and they buzzed over to Dorman tonight for a big game over there. The Jackets are coming off an exciting win over Evans, which ended with a defensive stand on the 1-yard line. Ahead of tonight's game, we spoke with North Augusta head coach Richard Bush, and you can watch that interview in its entirety on our website and the WRDW News 12 YouTube page. Make sure to tune in tonight for our second episode of Under the Lights. Every week, we're breaking down the biggest high school football games and stories from all around the CSRA. Our stories, highlights, top 5 plays of the week segments, and more can be found on our website and all of our streaming apps.
Looking forward to it, Dan, as usual. One of Augusta's biggest parties is just a few weeks away now. Arts in the Heart coming up in September, and the driving force behind the project says you can expect a lot of new artists out there this year.
If you love to shop, which I believe in retail therapy, I think it's a very important part of my
Absolutely.
life. You get to see just a lot of of juried, meaning the best in certain categories.
And you can watch my latest one-on-one with Brenda Durant Sunday morning right here on News 12, and then online after that. Just click on the one-on-one tab at WRDW.com. We're back with more after the break.